Hello, this is Fred, the farmer and the agronomist. We are back to our class. Like it has always been, my farm, your class, my client farm, your class, because different approaches of what I do in my farm, different approaches of how I work with my client, different in different areas, as different lessons. So I am used to share all the lessons so that you can be able to know what is good for you and what can work for you. It's always good to learn from the practical part of it rather than the theory. Also, it's always good to get notes from elsewhere. Even if you know what you're doing, it's always good to confirm. I was telling in a group of farm training I was telling farmers that I always confirm. Even if I know something, I confirm with my fellow agronomists, I confirm with other farmers, I go to the internet and confirm, and so that I can make sure everything that I'm doing is good. Remember, this is not try and error. This is business. We are here to make money. So today we are going to learn about watermelon establishment, or how you're supposed to successfully select a good site, to successfully prepare the land and plant your watermelon, and the best seed to plant. So that is a topic that we're going to cover today. I've shared so many other such topic on my previous videos, but it's always good to remind you, it's always good to refresh, it's always good to share everything that I do so that we can be at par and you can be updated as a farmer. If this is your first time to be in this channel, kindly subscribe so that you can continue getting the best content, the best farming solely, and the best training that will lead you to be a successful farmer and make money out of farming. So when you think of watermelon, or when you plan of watermelon, there's so many things that you're supposed to consider. One, when you plan of watermelon, is the market. Think about the market. Where am I going to sell the watermelon? After the market, you get the market. Look at the ecological conditions. Where am I going to plant my watermelon? There are some areas that are good for watermelon. There are other areas that are not good for watermelon. From the ecological condition, look at the soil. The ecological may be good, but the soil is not suitable for watermelon. Check the soil. And how do we check the soil? We do the soil analysis. We know the pathology, the diseases in the soil, and the nutrition. Those are the key things to look at. Also, the nature of the soil matters a lot. From the soil, prepare the land. How is watermelon land prepared? How are the trenches made? What are the distance between one trench to the other? What is the distance between blocking of one fallow to the other? That is what you need to know about land preparation. Then, very good point where is now seed selection and planting. Remember, you went to the market. The market told you this is the watermelon we need: oblong watermelon, round watermelon, seedless watermelon, less seed watermelon. These are the factors now you consider when you're taking the seed. Then after the seed, how do you plant the watermelon? You can choose to go the seedling way. I've already shared very good classes concerning growing watermelon using the seeds. You can also choose to do direct seeding. For today, or for this class, we will discuss more on direct seeding and how they're supposed to be done correctly. That has just be a recap, or that has be just what we expect to learn from our today's class. What we have told you, that is what we are going to learn for today. So to start with, let's start with watermelon market. Watermelon market, and this has been a question that I answer each and every training I do, either physical training to farmers or the online training. Watermelon market. How do you know this is the best watermelon farming? Because majority of the watermelon farmers don't look for market, don't grow watermelon as ordered by the market. They grow timing a certain market. So if you're timing the market, how do you time? Always make sure when you're timing the watermelon market, it's either you are timing the festive season, You all know your calendar according to the community you're in or the country you're in. There is a festive season, and currently all this festive season they are taking a lot of fruit. So among them, you see the outside catering, they are cutting a lot of watermelon. Watermelon is very good for those occasions. From the occasional, from knowing the timing for festive season, we also time when it's hot. During the hot weather conditions in any town across the world or in Africa, there is high demand for watermelon consumption because there are so many vendors, there are so many people who are selling the watermelon, the slices of watermelon in the street at a very cheap price. So this becomes a very wide market because of the weather. And you can always time to make sure when that weather allows in your country, because different areas have different weather conditions. They are like, for example, in East Africa where I am, we have tropics weather conditions, and in months of like January, February, and part of March, it's very hot. Then April and May, it's hot. August, September, October, up to December is always a peak season for watermelon because of the hot conditions and the festive season. So you can do your timing, just check and know when we are supposed to time for watermelon. From timing the market, you now know the market. Go check the ecological conditions, which is the best ecological condition to grow watermelon. In most cases, we like growing watermelon in areas that receives in between 15 degrees Celsius temperatures to 30 degrees. In between there, that can be a good area to grow watermelon. Remember, watermelon, it's watermelon because it's sweet, because of the color, because of the high sugar levels. And the high sugar levels are brought in by hot conditions. Though there are some nutritional factors, but hot conditions are among the things that makes the watermelon sweet. You can use the nutrition in cold weathers, but you find that the watermelon is not sweet, or there are so many fungal diseases that are affecting the plant and that are hindering the plant to grow. So the ecological condition is very key, very good. In Kenya, the areas of Machakos County, the Kitui County, Mwingi County, and the coastal region, some part of northeastern, let's say the whole of northeastern, some part of central province, some part of eastern province, those areas do very well in watermelon farming because of the ecological condition of the area. When checking the ecological condition of the area, don't forget the water source. Watermelon can be grown under irrigation, which is what we are currently doing, making sure you have enough water, not just water. This has been a question, how much water do I need to grow watermelon? Make sure you have as much water that farm can handle. Don't limit yourself when it comes to water. If you are next to a river, if you are next to a lake, just know that that is enough water. And watermelon can also be grown under rainfed in a period of 2 months or within a period of 40 days with a well distribution of rains. Your watermelon is mature and you are ready to go to the market. So you can choose whether you go for rainfed, you can choose to go for irrigation. But in my case, I'm purely irrigation. I don't go for rainfed because also there is high competition it comes to rain. Remember, somebody who is growing watermelon under rainfed has less cost, so you cannot compete with them. So we usually give them time, grow, then we as irrigation team, we come then do it. Come now to land selection. How is the land supposed to be? Watermelon, when you're selecting a land, is supposed to be slopey. Make sure if you're doing rains, the land will not experience flooding, because watermelon cannot stay in a flooded land for more than 3 days. It is going to die. So make sure the land is well drained. If it's slopey, as you can see where we are, it's a little bit slopey, not so slopey, but a little bit slopey. So make sure the slopeness or the gradient of the land is good for water drainage. Then we come to the soil. How is the soil supposed to be? The soil is supposed to release water. A soil that releases water, be it loam soil, be it sandy soil, as long as it has a capacity to hold some water and it can release water. When it comes to clay soil or black cotton soil, I discourage farmers in doing watermelon in those soils because it holds water and watermelon don't perform well in areas that has high, in soils that has high water holding capacity. So you need to make sure there is good drainage and the water holding capacity is always good, because in irrigation sometimes we do three to four irrigation regimes per week, depending by the weather conditions, to make sure there is sufficient water for the watermelon, and the watermelon at the same time is not drowning. So if you have a farm that you're doing it once per week and it's holding water the whole week, that can be a little bit challenging for watermelon. From water holding capacity to the soil, you also check your soil, do the soil sampling, check the pathology, that is the diseases, check the nutrition, because in Fusarium affecting soil and bacterial wilt affecting soil, that is going to kill your watermelon. So avoid that place at all cost. For nutrition, you can rectify that. Once you know what your soil has, you'll be able to rectify that. From knowing the soil, now you're sure of the soil, we come to the land preparation. That is where you till the land with your tractor or with another machine and make sure it's fine. You till the land to fine tilled. Make sure there are no big soil crowds. So what you need is just till to fine tilled. Then from there, you make trenches. This is now a big lesson for you, what you need to do. When making trenches, how many meters from one trench to the other? Like in my case, I usually prefer 2 meters from one trench to the other, or it can be 3 meters from one trench to the other. When you make it 2 meters, you are going to increase the spacing of planting. When it is 3 meters, we are going to reduce the spacing of planting. So you can do either 2 meters or 3 meters. Have a good bed where your watermelon will lie. Then when it comes to blocking the watermelon trenches, you can also block in 2 meters or 3 meters, depending by the gradient of the land, also the nature of the soil. If the soil doesn't hold water for the longest time, have small blocking or small molding. If it can hold water well, or the gradient is not very steep, you can make it 3 meters or even to 4 meters. So those are the things you need to know about making trenches and also preparing the land for watermelon farming. From there, first thing first, either you are doing seedlings or you are doing seeds. There is an approach that many farmers do. If you are doing seedlings, you cannot transplant in a dry land. You must water, then transplant. But if you're doing seeds, direct sowing, you can either transplant, then follow with irrigation, or do the irrigation, then come planting. I usually prefer doing the irrigation and planting after, though the other one is also good, but if I have to choose the two, I'll go for irrigating, then transplanting. Remember also, when we are planting, we plant with we can use the manure. Also, we can plant with the fertilizers, or we can use manure alone. Transplant, when they germinate, we apply the fertilizers. But in a case where you have a big tract of land like the one we are in at the moment, you cannot. It's very expensive to do the planting, then another day come do the manure. It's always good to combine both of them and make sure that they are done correctly. The spacing of seed or the seedling is determined, like I told you, by the trenches you made. If you made a trench of 2 meters, you are going to have a spacing of at least 50 to 60 centimeters from one seedling to the other. If you have a spacing of 3 meters, we are going to reduce now the spacing of seedling in between 30 to 40 centimeters. Remember, the trench determines the spacing. If you have shallow trenches, make sure you increase your spacing. If it's a wide trench, make sure you decrease or you reduce your spacing. Seed is determined by the market. The seed that you plant should be you should know the kind of watermelon it's producing, either oblong watermelon, either round watermelon. It's a seedless watermelon or a less seed. There is a difference between seedless and a less seed, depending by what the market is is commanding you or what the market has told you to plant. Don't do different things from what the market is telling you, because the market is the employer and you cannot go against your employer. So from planting, watering is after transplanting. We do the second watering. We usually call it fresh planting, fresh watering, because if you decide to do direct seeding and you're planning to water before direct seeding, you can water a day before, plant, then do the thrashing, or during planting you can water, plant, then the following day you come thrashing, or after completing planting you do the thrashing of watermelon farming. That is all about watermelon planting or watermelon sowing. This is a very good class. If you have any question, you can leave it on the comment box. If this is your first time to be on my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to this channel so that you can continue getting good update, you can continue learning, and you can continue getting the skills and all you need to know about farming in general, not necessarily watermelon, but also watermelon is a big class here. We've done so many other trainings on watermelon, from land preparation, how to break seed dormancy. You can go counter check and learn from them. Though I'll continue giving you in each and every experience, in each and every ecological condition I experience, in each and every place that I visit. This will be your class. Will be a place that you'll be learn purely and pure practical dialect from the farm. Until next time, subscribe to the channel so that we can continue learning together.